Hello and good evening, and thanks for coming to this session. My name is Parekh, and I'm part of the product management team at Brocade focused on data center solutions. I'm here to share a network point of view in your journey to a software-defined data center. For the past 1 year, we've been working with VMware to deliver an integrated network virtualization solution based on our Brocade VCS fabric. And I'm here to share some of our learnings from that solution, provide an overview of our solution, as well as give you a quick use case. So let's take a quick look at how networks have evolved in this journey to a software-defined data center. We started off with hierarchical networks. They were great for north-south traffic and for static data centers. But then data centers got dynamic. We had apps all over the place, we had VM movements all over the place, and we had distributed applications. And this is where these networks proved to be very rigid and inflexible. Fast forward to 2010, we had the advent of two new technologies. One is network fabrics, and the second is network virtualization. Now, fabric-based network architectures were great because they were highly automated and optimized for east-west traffic and for virtualized data center environments. And network virtualization was great because it provided customers with an instant way to provision networks and delivered the benefits of application agility and the ability to associate services and security to application and tenants. Brocade and VMware worked together to deliver an integrated network virtualization solution that provided a very flexible physical and virtual network. So in the past 1 year, we've engaged with customers on the solution, and there are three key things that we've learned. Two of them are benefits, and one's a requirement. The first is agility. Customers want to reduce the time it takes to deploy an application and a tenant. On the application side, large enterprise customers, particularly in verticals such as financials and pharmaceuticals, want to deploy their large number of applications as quickly as possible. As you know, these applications go through various phases and have different network requirements for their development, test, and production. So with network virtualization solutions, they're able to reduce the time it takes to reduce the, reduces the time it takes to deploy a application from hours to days, days to hours, sorry. The other benefit you get is multi-tenancy, and that is, again, the ability to instantly deploy a tenant. Now, cloud service providers want to deploy a tenant on the shared network infrastructure. They want to provide segmentation, isolation, and tenant-specific services. And with network virtualization solutions, they're able to do that in very short amount of time, and they're able to, again, reduce the time it takes to deploy a tenant from days to hours. And one key thing that we learn from our customers is that investment protection is very important. They need to be able to use the infrastructure that they have invested in to the maximum as much as possible. They want to be able to maximize ROI. So they want a solution that's going to be able to do that. One of the key things that we learned from our engagement is that the physical network matters. And how? Three things to look at. First, resiliency. This is obvious. If the physical network goes down, the virtual network goes down. Second, simplicity. Network virtualization adds a layer of abstraction, which means more configuration. That also means that if your physical network is difficult to deploy and maintain, you are not going to have a happy IT staff. And finally, efficiency. The efficiency of your virtual networks is constrained by the efficiency of your physical networks. If your physical network architecture is unable to use some ports or links, your virtual networks are not going to be able to use them either. So to reiterate, the uptime requirements on your physical network just got more stringent. You cannot have any downtime. You need a distributed data and control plane. Second, you do not have the time to handcraft networks anymore. They need to be automated, and they need to be self-healing and self-forming. And you also need a single pane of provisioning and management. And finally, you need a network that's efficient. You need to be able to use all the links and the ports in your network to ensure that you get maximum ROI. So in short, to enable the power of network virtualization, you need a network that's resilient, automated, and efficient. And we believe that Brocade VCS Fabric is that right network for virtualization. It's simple to deploy and simple to operate. And as a famous artist said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Let's take a quick look at what our solution is all about. It has 3 key components. First is the Brocade VCS Fabric. Now, this is that physical network foundation we have been talking about. Second is VMware NSX. This provides your network virtualization and provides you a way to instantly provision virtual networks. It also provides you a way to attach security and services to your tenant or application, that is microsegmentation. And finally, is this key component of the solution called the Brocade VCS Gateway for NSX. Now, this is the component that bridges your virtual infrastructure to your physical infrastructure. And that is your VXLAN-aware infrastructure to your non-VXLAN-aware infrastructure. Our VCS Gateway for NSX is highly differentiated for many reasons. One of the key reasons is that it's based on Brocade VCS Fabric. So with that, we get some unique benefits. Our VCS Gateway is based in silicon, which means that's high performance. Second, it's a resilient logical gateway. And by that, I mean that if you construct a 2-switch gateway, we are able to handle a switch or a link failure. It's also a logical gateway. What that means is there's a single entity to configure and provision. And finally, it is integrated with VMware NSX controller, which means that you get your single pane of provisioning and management as well as statistics. Let's take a quick look at one of our enterprise use cases. Now, as we have been talking, enterprises need a way to instantly deploy an application. So let's see how you could do that with our solution. Let's say you have a 3-tier application, a web, app, and database tier. Your web and app tiers are virtual, and your database tier is physical. You can instantly deploy this application in 2 steps. You would use an orchestration platform such as vCloud or OpenStack to deploy your tiers on your virtual and physical infrastructure. And then you would use VMware NSX to provision a gateway and a virtual network that would span all of your tiers across your virtual and your physical infrastructure. Our solution, one of the key benefits of our solution also is that it is an incremental approach to adopting these new technologies. So, for example, our VCS Gateway with NSX can be deployed as an appliance at the spine layer, which means you could provide service without disrupting your network, and also that this service would be available for your entire network. You could also deploy it at a top of rack, which means that if you have a rack full of physical servers and services, you can just deploy your top of rack as your VXLAN gateway. And going forward, we would be able to deploy the entire fabric as a gateway. And this is the holy grail, and that is to have your services at any point in the network. So finally, to summarize, Brocade VCS and VMware NSX provide the perfect approach to transform your network in your journey to a software-defined data center. Thank you. Cool.